Hello, I'm Cindy.
I'm Angelica.
And welcome back to the Good and Ghastly Podcast, episode 6.
Yeah.
We're in double hands.
Look at. Yeah.
That's like pretty exciting.
Double digits? No, that's not right.
Soon enough. I mean, I'm sure some people... No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to try to justify that, but really... Oh man. Hey, so what's going on, Angelica? Been a bit.
I know. We did better this time around, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I think we're on the upward trajectory of getting back into the swing of things. And
considering it's a Monday.
Oh, God. It's a Monday afternoon. It's not like a holiday or something. We didn't both call in
work.
sick. Yeah, after work. Yeah, Angelica was kind enough to, come over. And, we're figuring it out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not much new.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I was going to call out, at the beginning was I got an invite to be on a different podcast. Friends of the show, the Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover podcast, which is a sports betting podcast. If you remember episode, I think it was 2, is with John Byrne, who happens to be my husband, from GTW GTC. Which is really exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. They're a sports betting podcast, so kind of a different genre than us. But in their off seasons, they do a kind of draft series where they draft everyday life things. About 6 months ago, because it was Christmas, I was actually on their Christmas draft, which was also super fun. All 3 of the guys are really cool and very nice gentlemen, and it was a really fun time, and it kind of ties into what we're talking about today, which is super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, the draft was things that changed when I turned 30 and when each of us turned 30 and kind of in your 30s, because, age is just a number.
That's where everything started going really downhill.
Yeah, I think there is really I know 21 is obviously a big one, but I think 30 is also one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Milestones. No matter where you're at, you can be in a different part of your life than someone else that turns 30, but there are certain things that change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was a super fun podcast. I can't tell you if I won or not, but I had some good ones in there, guys. So if you're interested, go check out their podcast. You can either go to our Instagram, and I've linked it in our links, and you'll see the post about it, or you can go to Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover, GTW_GTC at all the socials. They do it all. They do TikTok, the Instagram, what do they call the Twitter now? The X.
The X.
Whatever, they do that. Good for them. We don't.
They have their shit together.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there are 3 of them, so they have 33% more manpower.
There you go.
I'm gonna take that. No, they do have their shit together, and they're well established. So shout out to them. And I figured, we're gonna kind of piggyback off that because,
which I think is a great topic you came up with.
Yeah, right. So we were talking, and obviously we just talked about 30s in the draft, but Angelica and I kind of thought it might be cool to talk about the biggest lesson learned or biggest thing we learned from each of our decades, from teens, 20s, and 30s. As kids, you're learning freaking something every new day.
Yeah.
So we talked about
really not thinking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, lessons: don't touch the stove. Don't take candy from strangers unless they have puppy dogs and fireworks or something. But yeah, I think this is more your formative years, I'd say, and lessons that have kind of brought us up. And we figured we'd just discuss each decade and each give our examples and kind of quick in and out.
Yeah.
Super fun.
It is Monday.
It is a Monday. Yep. So what do you think? Should we start with teens and work our way up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You
got to build the decades of trauma.
There we go. Yeah, you definitely need to just see where it all came from. And yeah, so Angelica, teens, we shared our teens together.
We
so
sure did.
And 20s and 30s. So this is
yes.
This makes it nice.
There are many surprises between us.
Yes. This is yeah. So do you want to? I'll let you go first. I'll let you get the ball rolling.
Oh man, I feel like you're gonna give me some ideas. So I kind of wanted you to go first. I'll go first. Okay, so it's funny because you definitely hit the nail on the head with what really kind of set certain thought patterns, I guess, or certain realizations of life. In that, in our later teens, is what we're talking, just I'd say school, right? I mean, certain classes in high school, a specific class in high school
that shall not be named.
It shall not be named, but it was pretty much a lesson in basically if you're pretty and perfect and have long, beautiful hair, that you'll get away with whatever you want in life. You will have less rules. You will have less restrictions. And if you don't kind of fit that criteria, that good luck. Like, even if you work hard and you're smart and you do your very best, it doesn't matter, because as long as somebody's prettier than you, or basically the prettier, right? You know what I'm trying to say. Help me elaborate here. Help me.
I was actually here for this moment, and it's a very formative moment in my psyche as well. Like, I can remember it. This particular class, just to set some context, we kind of had been divided into two sides, and I think it naturally happened.
Like facing each other.
Like a circle, but split in half. So, the instructor would be in the middle.
Half of the class was over here, half of it was here, and we looked at each other. So, the teacher could be the center of attention.
Which is a whole nother. We're not even going to go on this guy, but I think it happened naturally. I don't think we were assigned seats in that class.
I don't think so.
But you tend to sit with people that you're friends with and that you associate with in classes. And it became very apparent quickly that the two sides of the class had separated. Basically, one side would be what I would call the popular kids, the jocks, the cheerleaders, the
richer kids. So, you know what I mean? Like, in a school like ours, it was, if you had even a little bit of money, you were considered, like, I don't know,
upper middle class was considered pretty well off. I would say,
and that kind of made you popular,
right? You weren't wearing Payless shoes to school, kind of thing, Excuse me, but so it became really apparent that those kids were on one side, and on the other side happened to be all the kids that kind of didn't fit into any of those groups. So we had a lot of the kids that were ethnic, to be quite honest, right? Like, I'm not, and to be fair, we didn't have a lot of ethnic kids in honors classes anyway, which is a whole nother disparity that we should get into at some point. But I'm
shocked that I
clawed your way through.
Luckily I had like an English teacher in elementary school who thought that I needed to, middle school. Thought in middle school who said that I needed to be in advanced English. So that kind of set me on the path. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been in one of those classes myself.
Right. And I mean, statistically, it's just odd that, that all the kids in those classes were white. Like, white middle class. That's interesting. That's not by mistake. That's by design. But I'm not going to talk about the flawed system and get in a soapbox right now. But anyway, so the other side of the class was us. And a lot of what I would say were our friends. And I wouldn't say we were outcasts. I didn't ever feel like an outcast, but we definitely...
Quiet kids.
Yeah, quiet, not popular.
Yeah, just kind of,
odd.
Stayed right below the radar.
Yeah.
Nobody picked, like, we weren't picked on and stuff. It wasn't anything like that. But just not...
Yeah.
Not popular. Not well known.
Yeah, definitely not well known. And funny enough, Angelica made the comment about the hair, about like the long hair. There used to be girls in that class that would like brush their very long hair.
Sitting in class with their long legs and legs crossed. brushing their hair.
Yeah.
It's coming down to here.
And not that I would have ever been on the other side of the class, but I had literally chopped my hair off that year, like probably 2 weeks before that comment was made. So it just like really was the nail in the coffin that like.
And there is a point to the hair thing being mentioned.
Yeah.
I had my hair cut short at that point too.
You
right?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the girls on that side did.
All the girls had their hair.
Short hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one gentleman that was on that side
long hair.
had very long hair. Yeah. So it was kind of like we were the other in comparison to like what would be that. So that particular teacher kind of instilled this lesson in us that it doesn't really matter how smart you are, how hard you work. You will not be given the same advantages as people that are more conventionally attractive. Is how I took it.
I mean, we're gonna say what he literally said was that. What was it like? You're only pretty if you have long hair.
Yeah, he did call it the fact that you need to be like a good-looking, long-haired lady. Short-haired chicks aren't going to make it in life. Mm-hmm. And we're being kind in our words here because we're not going to give him a platform at all or whatever. But yeah, I would say that was something that did stick with me as well. And I mean, I think you and I have discussed it numerous times.
Yeah, that was a big, like, eye-opening moment in life where I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, like, you always know it. Like, in the back of your head, you might not feel like you're enough. Mm-hmm. And then to hear that from someone that is
a leader, a teacher,
a mentor, supposed to be preparing us for life. And like, I don't know if he's wrong. I mean, I do know that pretty privilege is a real thing. Mm-hmm. And I haven't experienced much of it in my life. I had a very small window where I was more conventionally attractive. But it's a real thing. You do get treated differently. And not to say that if you're good looking and have long hair that your life is going to be awesome. Like, obviously everyone has trials, tribulations. Yeah. Women that are more conventionally attractive face a lot of horrible, like, attention they don't want. And that, so we're not trying to call it out on them. I think what we're trying to call it out is that being a leader and a mentor and someone in a position of power to tell young people basically don't bother trying too hard because you're ugly. You're not get past stuff. Yeah. That's kind of what it took away. And I think that probably did have really lasting.
It has.
Right.
I mean, the fact that we're still talking about
it. It's been a couple years. Yeah, and I think that's a good one to call out because it is one of those formative lessons. I think both
kind of, you're forced to take off those rose-colored glasses.
Right.
Well, as rosy as they could be at that point. But, like at least you had you were still under the impression that the hard work and the trying hard was going to get you somewhere regardless.
And being smart. Like, we were in a group of other smart kids too. So
I feel like even at that point, I felt overlooked. Yeah. Like it didn't matter what I did in that class or how hard I tried. Like, it was like almost trying to make somebody proud of you, though. You're still, you're still striving to make that mentor, that somebody that you're supposed to look up to. You're still trying to make them proud, and they just look right past you because
you don't fit in the box of what they
like to look at.
Right. Oh, and that's a whole other. Yeah. See, we're like on that line of. Like,
I know.
So I mean, but I think obviously that as hurtful and like eye-opening as that interaction was, I do think you can kind of find a bright spot in it. That, like you said, it takes the rose-colored glasses off. Yeah. It makes you more aware of maybe some of the other factors at play. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of like not internalize it that it's you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, there are going to be people out there that are going to be biased against you. There are going to be people that put you in a certain box because that's what they deem being worthy. But at the end of the day, you got to just kind of say, nope, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I feel like the realism, like just real life kind of started at that point, like
Right.
being like, okay, so getting into adulthood is like this. So I mean, it wasn't a complete, it was helpful, maybe not in the right way, but it was, it really did kind of set the realistic expectations for life in motion. Like, maybe I will be able to do something, or exceed at something. But if I don't, like, there's going to be a lot of factors at play.
Right.
Yeah. And trust me, I didn't not succeed at life because I'm not attractive.
I didn't say you're not.
No, I'm just, like throwing it out there. I didn't succeed at, well, in the conventional sense, I haven't succeeded at life because I was like, fuck this shit. It's a lot of work for not a lot of reward.
Fair enough. Oh my goodness.
I did not buy into the climb the ladder corporate BS, we'll say.
Yeah. And Angelica's anti-establishment all the way. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Anything else on that lesson learned?
No, I thought, that is a big one. That is a huge, and like you said, we both talk about it, so it affected us.
Oh, absolutely. That's a memory I can always see pretty clear.
Yeah,
which is depressing.
Like I could close my eyes and picture all of it.
Yeah.
All right.
Might want to go back to therapy about this one. I don't know. Might need to talk this through a little bit more.
You're up.
Yeah, so I actually had to think of another one because I was going to talk about that. Like I knew ahead of time that might be what you were going to pick because it was very triggering for both of us.
Yeah.
So I have one that's a little more personal, and that might not have been something that you had at that time, but I think it's a lesson you might have learned later, maybe in your 20s. So for mine, the lesson that I learned in my teens is that you have to be careful how much you invest in someone and you let them control your life. And I say that in a way, this particular way I'm talking about is a romantic partner. Mm-hmm. And I will not go into details about the stuff, obviously, because that person is still out there in the world.
Yeah.
And
I know the details.
Exactly. That's what's important. But I was in a relationship for most of my high school career with the same person. And I put a lot of faith and self-worth into that person and how that person treated me. And so I learned from being in that relationship and being controlled in that relationship that it's really important to make sure that you have enough wherewithal to know that this isn't right, and to listen to your friends and family and the people who love you who are saying, hey, something doesn't seem right. And to also be able to move past that afterwards, to take that self-worth with you. Because it's too easy. And I think especially for young people to, get in these relationships and fall in love, and to think that this is the end all be all. You feel very deeply when you're in your teens. Like those emotions and like your hormones and stuff are going crazy. And you feel things so deep. And I think it's hard sometimes to realize that like this too shall pass.
Yeah. So I could have a grown up sitting there telling you, trust me, this is not, the end of it.
Right.
But I
not gonna listen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, I feel like watching kind of, what you went through and what you experienced really kind of cemented like my perspective that I was not interested, because I could see what you were going through and what it did to you. And, how it made you feel about yourself. And I had enough things.
Yeah, right.
to feel bad about it. I didn't need throw another person into that.
Right. Yeah, and that's it. And like, it was a very emotionally manipulative and controlling relationship. I'd say on the edge of abusive in a lot of ways. And it's funny. I kept back in the day, kids, we didn't text each other because we didn't have phones. We used to write each other letters, like little notes at school. I have like a Ziploc bag full of notes from high school. And I have not opened them because I don't know that it's going to be helpful or harmful to look at. Because I thought like how my brain works. It's like how I process these things that happen. I'm like, I'll write a story. I'll put a book together. I'll put a blog together. I'll do an art piece. I'll do something creative with this to put it out into the world to try to like help others. And then I think, I don't know if I want to revisit that period because like it is to have someone be able to manipulate you in a way to do and say and act in a way that is not indicative of who you are and your values is terrifying. Yeah. And, you know, I'm not particularly proud. And I mean, in therapy, I talked through some of this stuff too, just because it leaves a mark on you, of course. And like, I've brought baggage into other relationships based on this. Yeah. And I would say I have been, I am henceforth, since that relationship, I am very much more the one in charge. In all of my relationships, I tend to take control and be more commanding because I never wanted to be in that spot again. But in hindsight and talking it through with a therapist, I realized that the person that I had been with was also abused, unfortunately, from a parental aspect. And he endured a lot of psychological and emotional abuse. And those things tend to be passed on. So unless you address them, and trying to address them as a teenager, good luck. Like you're not able to process that information.
Exactly. You're literally unable to.
Right. You have like 100 million other things you're processing. So I get that now. And like, I have no bad, like ill will towards that person. Yeah. And, you know, I wish him well. And I didn't want to see horrible things happen to him, but like, I took those feelings for so long, and that probably was like, it's only probably in the last like 5-6 years that I've never actually let it go fully. Yeah. And like move past it. So, yeah, I would say the lesson learned from that.
Don't let your children date.
Don't let your children date ever. I mean, I would say talk to your kids. And it's not that my parents hadn't talked to me, but I think it's so many parents have this fear that if they push you away from that person, you will do the exact opposite. And at the time, that's 100% that would have happened. Yeah. If you would have told me you can't see him, you can't whatever. Oh, 100%.
Keep me from the love of my life. Yeah. I hate you.
Yes.
I'll murder you in your sleep.
I mean, that's happened.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Insane.
But like, I think it's important to have that open dialogue with your parents and your when you're a teenager, your kids. If you're now a parent, I'm assuming there's not a lot of kids listening to this. I would hope not.
Much less adults.
But yeah, there you go. Hi, Mom. No,
Hi, Mom.
I think it's really important that you have those conversations and you build that relationship, because when you do hit those teenage years, everything explodes. And at least if you have a good foundation. Like, I didn't even have a bad relationship with my mom. It's just, I think at that age, we were just like this. Yeah. And I think you just have to try your best to manage that relationship. And some of it is just getting through the bad stuff and hoping that it's not going to go sideways all the way. So.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah. Considering you have a daughter and a son. Yeah. That will be going through this at some point, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, I don't think it's a man or a woman thing. I don't think it's because I was dating guys or whatever. I think they're people in general. Yeah. Like there are, it can go either way. Mm-hmm. So whoever your, teenager decides to date or fall in love with, open dialogue and, once again, instilling in them enough like self-worth and self-confidence to say, hey, I don't like the way you treat me. I am going to
be able to kind of recognize the signs and understand what's okay and what's not okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's tough.
It is. And it's hard until you've been put in that situation too, to, stand up for yourself in that way. So that's what I learned in the biggest lesson. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, I know you have kids, and now I feel terrible. I can help, though.
You can.
And Cindy can be like, listen.
And plus, if they're going to run away, hopefully they'll run away to Aunt Cindy's. And then
Absolutely. I just assume they're going to at some point live in my house or like my backyard or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
It's fine. I don't
They're
care.
going to run away. They're going to hate mom and dad. You're going to...
I swear to God, it's like nature. Like automatically turn against your mom, especially as a girl in your teens. You're like, you know what? I hate you.
Mine didn't come. I didn't hate her, but my rebellion, my I don't want to do this anymore. I need to get out. Wasn't until I think I was in my 20s, or no, was I 19?
I think it was right before. I think you were after high school, but before you really became an adult. Like yeah.
So was I living in your parents' basement?
I wasn't there. But I had moved out when I was 19, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
God, the shit we put our parents through.
Absolutely.
Here comes karma.
Right? Yep. That's okay. That's okay. We'll get through it. Oh, okay. You want to move to the 20s?
Let's do it. I think you have to go first this time.
What?
Yeah. Keep it rolling.
Oh my goodness. So
does it correlate?
I think it might, but now I just went completely blank because I had thought this out, and then you caught me off guard. But
you want me to go?
No, I mean I can probably think through it. So it does kind of correlate. Now I remember.
Oh, okay.
So I think, like I said, after going through that experience in my teens, I kind of like had a renaissance in my mid-20s. Like absolutely, like it was from another relationship. I exited another long-term relationship at that point.
My God.
And
how did I draw that blank? Wow.
I kind of had a renaissance at that time, and like I basically decided, F it, I can do whatever the heck I want. And like I kind of did. Like I went back and did a lot of things I didn't ever think I was going to do. I went back to college, joined the fire department. I got really physically fit. Like I kind of changed my whole mindset. And what I learned in that is I literally can do anything I put my mind to. I can.
Yeah, you can.
Like I literally, like coming from someone that had very low self-esteem and low confidence in their teens and early 20s to hit like my mid-20s and realize, holy freaking crap, like I am very capable and I am very confident. And it took kind of like getting out of another relationship where I was like, oh, like the magic has always been in me. So like as much as like, it hurt to lose another relationship and fail again, like I really took that. I think I was angry, like they call it like revenge body or whatever. I think that relationship, I just went, you know what? Screw everyone. I'm going to do whatever I want. But I think it built up that resilience. And I think that was a point that was like the last nail in the coffin where I was like, this is stupid for me just to sit here and mope and be unhappy with things. I can change anything I want.
Yeah.
And I did, and I've done it, and I know I can do it. And it's not easy. I'm not going to say like it was, oh my God, so easy, but like
no, you put in a lot of work.
It is work. It's the mindset though.
I was exhausted watching you do all that stuff.
Yeah. It was, but like I think, like I said, that was my renaissance, and I kind of feel like another one coming.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I'm starting, like, I don't know. Like, once again, I think because we both suffer from mental illness, which is not...
What?
No. Oh, you didn't know? I think naturally life is unfortunately not like this or like this. Some people, obviously, they have really, really high highs, really low lows. I kind of go in the middle, up and down, where things really, really suck. Things are okay. Things really, really suck. And then sometimes I peak where it's like, this is awesome. And like those periods can't be sustained forever. Like no one can sustain it. But like I want to chase those highs still. Yeah. Like, and to try to get less of the dips. And to, I'm okay with going like, this is okay. I want to stay out of everything is trash, and I want, and I don't want to be here anymore. Yeah. So like that's kind of where I've been kind of hovering like this and not going too low, but I definitely
want to get that high.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, I think it's remembering that you have that within you, and nothing is easy, but anything worth doing is probably going to take a lot of effort and time and energy and that. But like those highs are worth it. And like, so I'm trying to like, I'm going to get myself back up into that kind of spirit, but to use like what I learned in my 20s to kind of drive myself to
that you can do it.
I absolutely can. Like it's
you know you can do it. I know you can do it.
Right.
I've seen you.
Right. Yeah, it's having that confidence though, and it's really funny the switch between teens and 20s. Like it's night and day. So yeah, that's what I learned is the magic's within me.
It is. You are the
mystical unicorn.
Yeah.
Did I give you? Is that long enough to give you some time to think of yours?
Yeah, I guess kind of for me, my 20s were kind of, get to it, Angelica. It's where I kind of accepted being with somebody because you figure that's when I met Sean. That's when we started, like dating and stuff.
Dating. And it was love at first.
Yeah.
Well, at least from him it was.
I grew. Oh God, ignore that.
Is it the president?
Oh my God, it's my child calling. Not now. She can hear. She can sense. She felt the disturbance before. Okay, back on track. Yeah, but because that's when I started my relationship with Sean, and I had never dated anyone, really was attracted to anyone, like little, like crushes here and there, but nothing like that would actually ever turn into anything, because that's why I would be okay with crushing on someone, is because I was like, we are never going to be together.
Low commitment.
Exactly. But yeah, I was prepared. I feel like I was good with, I was going to be alone, and it was all right. I was happy enough with it, and then bam, here comes Sean. It kind of, it took a lot of work for me to be comfortable in a relationship and to feel safe and feel like, it wasn't going to turn into shit. Because honestly, that's really the only way I had ever seen relationships go. Every relationship I had seen ended in, divorce, or ended in people cheating on each other. That's when I thought of relationships. That's what I pictured. That's what I just assumed happened always. Like, I can't think if I really knew anybody who was like in a long-term marriage or anything until I really saw Sean's parents, and they had been together for so long. I was like, oh, that happens? Your parents are still married?
They like each other? That's weird. What is that?
What? Yes, I mean that, I'd say that was a big, thing for me, was like, especially being in my 20s. I felt like I was prepared though. Like, I was very cautious. I put him through hell though. Being very,
I didn't help.
Insecure. I was very insecure, very afraid of, it ending. And I mean, so I took a lot of work to get through that, to be comfortable with being loved and loving somebody. I know, it's so cheesy, but
no, it's not cheesy though.
It was a bit, because that's not it's not how I grew up. That's not how I saw things. To actually embrace it and be comfortable in it, and trusting somebody else, and really kind of giving your all to somebody is scary.
Absolutely.
Very scary, especially when you're not, I knew we were fine. It's just, we're both the same kind of people. We don't, you can never say never, but as far as I'm concerned, we would never hurt each other. We would never, I don't want anybody else. He doesn't want anybody else. And that's kind of how it's been since the get-go.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Sean adores you in a way that is aspirational for people that are looking for partners. He truly does.
Yeah.
And I threatened him with an inch of his life if he ever hurt you anyway.
I'm very lucky. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but I definitely found my person.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy to think that was my 20s, was
accepting love.
Accepting love and building a relationship.
Yeah. That's monumental though. There are a lot of people that never get to that point.
Yeah.
Or they,
But I was prepared not to. I was okay. I was like, I will be alone forever. It will be glorious.
Which is gonna
come along.
Mess it all up.
Got children now.
I think you and I very much fell on like at opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like I was always searching out love and like acceptance, and that's like something I drove. And you were just like, no, like I'm okay with just being whatever. And it's hard to accept being alone. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. Is like they feel like they have to put someone in that slot
to make them feel fulfilled.
Exactly. And that's, you can't just put anyone there because like you said, it doesn't last. Like, and you're willing to wait and be patient and be okay with being alone. If that's what it is, then that's what it is. So I think you definitely that's really admirable and something that a lot of people aren't able to rationalize. And then when something came along for you to build up enough trust and love and to work through that was a long period. You guys were together a long time before you decided to get married.
Yeah.
You didn't, a lot of these couples, oh my God, it's true love and it's whatever and it's great. And they get married like 6 months in.
Yeah.
And that might work for some people, but you were very cautious and knew what you needed to build up. And I think that's super admirable and a great lesson to learn that you are worthy of love.
Yeah.
But you were willing to be by yourself. You were willing to love yourself.
Wait for the right situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. I hope my kids can see that too, and they can follow in the same path. So you really, it's very cliche, but you have to learn to love yourself before you can love somebody else. Not that I love myself ever. I've never loved myself, but I was okay. Like
you accept yourself.
Yeah.
Though. You accept yourself for where you're at this moment.
Yeah.
That's also something that a lot of people can't.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a better foundation to start from than me in high school, not being happy with myself and seeing someone that was willing to love me and changing and doing whatever I could to keep that person.
Yeah.
Versus you that were just like, yeah, if it happens, it happens.
Just play with rats.
That's okay. Pets are good for love too.
That's right.
It's okay if you're a dog or a crazy cat lady or a rat lady. That's totally fine too. It's okay to be, yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You're right though. A lot of people society puts pressure on you too.
It does.
To you have to be in a relationship or you're never gonna, hit all those milestones in life, which it doesn't need to be the same for everybody.
No, and there shouldn't be a time frame on it either.
No, not at all.
It's not like, oh, you can't get married at, 70.
Yeah.
Or,
find the right person.
Yeah.
Find, the right situation for yourself because it's not worth the heartache and the headache because it's a lot of work to invest into another person.
Absolutely.
And you want to make it worth it. I don't have time to bullshit around.
No, and what is that whole thing? I'm financially ruined. That's what happens with divorce, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think being in a marriage versus being in a relationship is a very interesting dichotomy too, because the things that I'd be willing to be like, I'm out of here. You got to rethink. You can't. Every little annoyance can't be
done.
Yep. I'm moving. I'm gonna go live at my mom's house. You can do that, but half the bills are still yours.
Yeah.
The kids are still looking for you.
Clearly.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's good that you learned to accept love and be in a loving relationship. Because if not, now's not the time to get out.
Oh, no, this is long term.
Yeah.
This is until one of us dies.
Or both. It could be one of those,
both. That works.
Yeah.
Sucks for the kids, but cool for us.
They'll be fine. Just don't do it anytime soon.
No, that's not the plan.
Yeah, let them be adults.
Yes.
Much as I I would love to have your kids. I don't want you to be dead and me have to take your children.
Mommy and Daddy are dead, and now you get to live with Aunt Cindy.
Party all the time. No, I would. The problem is I'm gonna be the the Iron Fist parent, and like John is like good time. John, like everyone's gonna like him. No, so I always stick to dogs.
Yeah. I don't think you'd be as strict as you think you'd be.
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, is my kid gonna try to steal my credit card to go to Taco Bell? My dog did, so you never know.
I did not influence that.
Yeah. That's the first thing Charlie said when Angelica came to the door. I said, I want to go to Taco Bell. I'm going to get Mom's credit card. Jeez, that dog. Always scheming.
I love him.
Yeah, me too. Cool. So do you want to go again then? Are we snaking it?
I guess we could. Boy.
30. It's almost over too, just to be clear.
Oh, mine are gone. My 30s are gone, my dear.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. No.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. Mine are gone. I've gone over that hump. I'm okay. I am okay. Getting older is inevitable.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
Then you got to take just all parts of it. The white hairs, the wrinkles. It's okay. If I look my age, I look my age.
Yeah. I don't think the look thing is what I'm concerned about. The lack of services when we're older and having money is more.
We'll figure a fun way out.
I told you, fill my pockets full of rocks. I'm walking in the lake.
Yeah.
They got to drag my body out.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I'll do it at the Washington Fountain. Oh. Make it so they have to come. Never mind. Don't do that. I'm sorry. That's not funny. Don't. I'm just kidding. It's not funny, but yeah, our dystopian future doesn't need to be discussed.
Yeah.
What about our?
Let's do that another.
In 10 years, we can do our 40s. And then,
Then we're even closer to. Well, we're never going to be able to retire.
No. Work until we die.
Yeah.
Probably die at work.
Probably. Oh, that sounds so sad.
Anyway.
Okay.
30s.
Wait, what's the topic again?
The biggest life lesson you learned in your 30s.
Probably that I shouldn't have become a parent.
Oh! I mean, I think that's people don't discuss that, but I think
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that I don't love being, a parent to my kids.
Not.
I love those guys. They're, but if I could do it again, I would have to think long and hard about, what if it were them. Obviously, you take them in a heartbeat, but even though they drive me absolutely nuts. But honestly, yeah, that kind of came off the top of my head too. But it's, it really, it took a toll. The being pregnant part was fine.
Really?
I enjoyed, I could be big and fat and it was okay because there was a baby in there. So it wasn't being fat and I could wear stretchy pants that came up over my belly and it wasn't sad because I needed to hide my pooch. It was because I had baby in there.
Yeah.
I was okay with that part. But man, when they come out, that's it. Game over. They fucked me up.
Oh my God.
I have. I mean, you know them. They're very
intense.
Intense was the word I was looking for. They're very intense kids. They have huge emotions. They are not great rule followers. They're not the kind of kids who are gonna sit, listen, not rock the boat. Try to stay under the radar. They're not like that. That's what I was like. I thought that's the kind of kids we were going to have because Sean's kind of the same way. We're real mellow.
Mellow, yeah.
They are not mellow. And man, yeah, it has been a challenge. I mean, you figure I'm doing therapy, trying to get her through therapy. He probably needs therapy. I'm having to learn a lot of skills. and parenting methods, because they are people.
Absolutely.
They're people, and when we were growing up, it was you do what you're told, you follow the rules, you don't bring attention to yourself.
Yeah.
You listen, and everything's good. That's that's not how it should be. That isn't. That has not served us well in our lives.
Right.
So, just trying to find a balance of like, hey, be yourself, but hey, you kind of can't do that. But
yeah, pants aren't optional anymore at a certain age.
No, you can't. Out in public, standing in the window, standing at the door with nothing on.
I think it's funny that you say this, because I think a lot of parents are afraid to say it.
Yeah.
Like, you hear people and they talk about their kids, and they show you pictures of their kids, and everything is wonderful and everything is whatever, but like, not every moment is wonderful.
Yeah.
Like, it's impossible. And even if you have an easy kid, not every moment is wonderful.
Yeah.
And so, like, learning, like you said, new skills. That's like crazy to think that, evolutionary, we've been having children. Like, you would think that you have a kid and you'll know what to do and everything's whatever, but the world is different.
Yeah.
And like, you have to kind of
what you're navigating through.
Not just for you in your journey as an adult and then as a parent, but then you also have to help them navigate it.
Yeah.
And things change, like, and the world changes, and it's impossible to just, you can't just set it on autopilot and be like, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not easy like that.
And I feel like that was kind of more so how we did it, though. Like, when we were kids, is, we figured it out.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a good thing. It helped us, and it helped us get through things in life. Like, there were methods that worked for us. Doesn't mean they were great methods, but it worked for us. And like, now being an adult and dealing with a lot of things that I thought were normal, I don't want my kids to feel those things or go through those things, or to not feel their own their self-worth. And man, putting, like, that's a lot to take on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're trying to guide these little people through a world that I don't even understand.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. The world changes at such a rapid pace now. And like, we have access to so much more information, and like, granted, a lot of the like dangers and fears and things are still there, but now we just have so much more like accessibility to viewing them and seeing this stuff. And like, if you can see it, your kids can see it. And you can't control what your kids are seeing and what they're involved with at a certain point. You're not with them 24/7.
Exactly.
So like, the world has changed a lot. And because of that accessibility, I feel like you've had to change how you parent and how you respond to things and how you prepare them to go out into the world.
And who I am.
Yeah.
I've had to gain a lot more self-confidence and self-awareness, because what I do and how I act affects them. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot to take on. And I know, maybe it's easier for some people, and maybe they don't have the same challenges. But I mean, I feel like, I don't know who couldn't be like, man, it would have been easier. Life would have been, I wouldn't say necessarily easier, but maybe less of a challenge without having kids.
As someone that doesn't have kids, I would say my priorities and my challenges are completely different than yours. And no one relies on me but my husband and my dog, really. And that's a lot less pressure than having 2 little kids and a husband and a couple dogs and some birds, and then you start going outwards to like families and stuff. But like, it's different, because my husband and even my dog is self-sufficient in a lot of ways that kids are not. You're taking on a lot of emotional, toll and mental toll and physical toll.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 other beings that completely need you.
And your body changes, your brain changes when you have kids. Pretty sure I didn't catch it, but I'm pretty sure I had postpartum after, the second pregnancy.
Yeah.
And, so everything's just messed up.
Yeah.
They're totally worth it. But man, yeah, I guess, you don't, it's going to be hard being a parent, but you really don't know all the challenges that you're going to have to face. Like, I did not think oh, hey, you're going to have to do homework again. I'm not talking about being pissed about something. Like, fucking A, man. I don't even get any credit for this. I have to learn it all again.
And it's done different.
It is different. Yeah, exactly. It's like, son of a bitch. I don't want to do this. You think you don't want to do it. How do you think I feel?
Right.
I already did it.
Oh my God. That's funny. I didn't think about that. Right? So your lesson learned is that parenthood is harder than you thought?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I guess I kind of,
better than I shouldn't have kids.
Yeah.
More, it's harder.
I mean, it is harder. I was not prepared, but it is a different challenge than I would have ever thought.
Yeah.
The world does not prepare you for what you actually have to invest. Yeah. No. I'm happy I had my children. I love my children.
Disclaimer,
yes. They are insane, but it's fantastic.
Yeah.
They better do something pretty spectacular with their lives.
They will. They're both creative, crazy guys.
All right, Cindy, your turn.
Final one.
Final.
Oh, a lot of pressure, guys.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure for Monday afternoon, early evening. My brain hurts. And my Waterloo
beginning of the week.
Yeah, beginning of the week, and my Waterloo has been tepid for hours, and I'm still drinking it. Not sponsored. Although Waterloo, if you want to sponsor us, I love your sparkling water.
Yeah. I'll love it too.
Try not to drink as much soda, which sucks.
I was drinking a Coke on the way to work today because I was like, I can't do this.
Dude, I'm sorry, but a Diet Coke for breakfast hits different.
Right?
It does. It hits so much different than it's great with a meal or great for an afternoon pick-me-up, sure. For breakfast, it's like straight on diesel in my veins. It's amazing. I love it. For McDonald's, I should say. It has to be for McDonald's.
It does. Well, not diet.
I can't drink an actual Coke anymore. I'd die. It would just rot my face.
No, it's perfect.
Oh, now I really want a Diet Coke. It's like crack.
It is. It's terrible. Just stop drinking it. Yeah, well, I got nothing. No.
I won't stop drinking it.
I'm an adult.
I can do what I want.
You heard all the shit I've had to go through. Let me have a Coke.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I can't. Okay. Get it together. Boom.
All right.
Okay. We're professionals. We're not professionals. Well, on that note, so something I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I think it is truly the thing that I learned in my 30s going to therapy, when I was in therapy. And I think it's been something I've done my whole life. And I know we're reminiscing now and kind of looking backwards. So I don't mean in this way, but one of the lessons I learned is to be able to move forward and not spend so much time looking at the past.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people struggle with this, where I don't know if it's just an anxiety thing or a Virgo thing, but I will literally sometimes wake up in the middle of the night with a thought about something, either someone that I might have upset or something I did that was embarrassing, from 20 years ago. And I will be able to see it, and I will sit up and I'll be in a cold sweat, and I will like remember that moment, and I will obsess about it. Like, I could have done this. I could have done that. Why didn't I do, like, I can't let things go.
Yeah.
And I talked extensively in therapy, and it's not just bad things. It's like, I also obsessed about, like, when I had my renaissance, at 25, like, I was so much fitter. I was so much better. And like, I'm just obsessed. I would just ruminate on like this thought that like
what I've done,
I can't, that's, I can't get out of this like circle where I'm looking backwards constantly. And like, my therapist talked about, like, you have to really think about being in a new season of your life, and like getting past that was that season of your life. You're in this new season, and looking backwards not going to do anything for you.
No.
You can take your lessons learned from
Yes.
it. You can take the good memories and like,
the skills that you've gotten
sure
from those occurrences or whatever you want to call
right.
them.
Yeah, but sitting there and beating yourself up about something that happened 15 years ago or 15 minutes ago, even, like, is not going to be productive in most cases. It happened, it's done, move on.
Exactly.
And so that's a skill that I learned and I've been developing in my 30s.
Yeah.
Like, it's not perfect. I still have those moments that I'm like, oh.
I get that 100%. I've been trying to do that too. But now I'm in my 40s. So I'll just say that's my 40s. The lesson for my 40s.
Nice. I can't have a lesson yet from my 40s. I'm not 40 yet.
I'm in the 30s.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming like a freight train at me.
It sure is.
Oh my God. Yeah. I know we've said it like 100 times before. Like, go to therapy.
Yeah.
Like, even if you think you might benefit from it just a little bit, like, just try it.
Yeah.
It's really been helpful.
It's enlightening. Very enlightening.
Yeah.
So how are you doing with not lingering on past things? Because I know how hard that is.
Yeah.
I am the same way. I do the same thing.
I think what I've built is resilience to let it happen, to let my whatever, but then to make myself move on. I think, like, you're not going to prevent yourself from thinking of those things or like getting transported back to those moments, but to sit there and be able to talk yourself through it, that, hey, that happened, it's over with, I'm okay to move on. And then to really move on.
Yeah.
Not have it like back in your mind, like
keep popping up.
Yeah. And some things are easier. Right? Like, I think if you're not someone that suffers from anxiety and depression, you might not realizing how debilitating something like that can be. But like, when I was really going through it, like when I quit my job, which
justified. I will always 100% back you up, even.
Yeah. When I had a mental breakdown and quit my job, like I often in that period, and it was also COVID.
Yeah.
So like, you're taking like trauma upon trauma and like that. I have videos on my phone. I recorded the day I quit.
Yeah?
Yes. I did it on purpose to talk myself through what I was thinking and whatever. I have not watched those.
Yeah.
I don't know what I am about keeping all these traumas. We're just going to have like Cindy's trauma-rama dump. We'll just do like a live stream and I'll just like read all these depressing letters. Let me read my bad poetry. Let me play my video of when I quit my job because I was having a mental breakdown.
Well, it's funny because like I remember like cleaning. It was a long time ago, but I remember going through like old papers and stuff, and I found a box of letters.
Yeah.
That like same thing, not love letters, but like with friends and stuff. And I was like, I don't need this shit anymore. It's just taking up space, so I threw them away. That's my.
That's awesome to not have to
like
give
pictures and stuff of like from high school.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know these people anymore. I don't need this.
Yeah.
It just takes up space. Like, if I'm not in the picture, what do I need this picture for?
That's a good point, because this is going to get grim, but I often think, like, when I die, who's going to want this shit?
Yeah.
No one's going to be, like, looking at these pictures from high school or from, like, I don't know, whatever it is, a craft I made in grade school. No one cares. Like, Yeah, so I think maybe you're right about decluttering and
Yeah, I think it kind of helps, like physically purging helps
Yeah.
you mentally purge.
yeah. I don't think I'm at that point yet. With certain things. I have gotten rid of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't keep a lot of physical things in general, I think.
Yeah.
Like, but I do have a memory box still that's
I have
been
like
downsized
that.
several
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
over the years. And like I don't know, maybe I'll get to the point like read the letters, get rid of them, watch the video, delete it,
You
kind
let
of
it
thing.
go. Just
Yeah.
like you said, it's in the past. It's done.
Yeah.
You've learned from it. Now you can move on from it.
Yeah. I sometimes wonder, like, I think I like to document though what I was thinking. And that's why I think this podcast is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because like we can go back to this in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Unless the internet's $1 million an hour to use. Who knows? But like it'll be interesting to see what we thought at that point in time. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. So part of me likes to document that stuff. The other part of me understands like keeping clutter and things that don't serve you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get rid of it. I don't remember like half the people in the pictures from high school.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember their names. We're
Yeah.
not friends.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not gonna be friends again. Yeah. So yeah, I totally get that with like getting rid of it, and maybe that's something I need to work on. The next step after I've forgiven myself and stopped living in the past is to maybe get rid of some of these relics I've kept. Although I think it would be really interesting. Maybe, I don't know. See, I'm obsessing with the letters now.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder sometimes, like, what's in there. Like, because my recollection, they say that whole thing, like, there's 3 sides to every story. Was that your side, their side, and the truth? And I sometimes wonder, because especially as a very dramatic teenager or 20-something or 30-something, the way I perceived something might not have been truly how it was. It's just how I perceived it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think if you mentally prepare yourself to read them, I think it would be good. Maybe to like stop letting that kind of linger, like stop letting that lingering thought, kind of haunt you almost, and like mentally prepare yourself, look through them, take them for what they were, and okay to let go.
Put out a book.
Or you can do that.
Promptly get sued.
I mean, that could be fun too. I mean, why not?
Haven't been sued.
Haven't.
Oh, that's not true.
Published a book yet.
Haven't published a book. My parents got sued because of me.
Did they?
Yeah, I hit that kid with the golf club accidentally.
Oh yeah.
I've never been sued. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for having homeowners insurance.
Yeah. Again, kids.
He has a cool scar now. He's probably like, I don't know, the coolest guy in prison. I have no idea. I couldn't even tell you the kid's name. I didn't know him that well. We weren't friends. Anyway, I've just totally, I don't think he can sue me now, right? It's already done.
I don't think so.
They already settled with him. Sure, he got like a pool or something out of it.
Yeah, right. Man, been doing it wrong.
Right?
Get in the way of some golf clubs.
There you go. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But yeah, that's it though. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure there's a lot of other things. We could probably do a part 2 of this, but
yeah, I can't think of. Those are very, I think those are
the big ones, I feel like, and more universal in a lot of ways, I feel like. Not just like our own personal.
Well, maybe, I don't know how many people felt the teens one, the like being told you were ugly because you had short hair, pretty much.
I think there's a lot of kids that fall into that other category. Not the ugly. They're not ugly.
No.
But unconventional.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of people that fall into that might remember high school. High school is fucking awkward for everyone.
Yeah. I don't know why people love it. I guess if that was your highlight, but like, it's done. It's cool. It's
I liked
juvenile.
It just in the fact that, like, it was, I knew what to expect. I knew what to do. I excelled at it. Like, those things, I don't know. I really love band.
Yeah.
I did. Like, that was something I was totally down for. But, like, I don't know. Not worth really revisiting. There's a bunch of trauma with band, too. I'm sure you could go into.
I'm like, how did I feel about band? Probably not the same. Like, I liked it, but I think I liked it because my memories are with you.
Yeah.
Not,
Same in a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like with any of the other people, really.
I mean, fair enough. That's why we're together forever.
Forever.
Oh. Wow. Any parting words on this before we move on to the end?
I don't know. It feels like it was a lot of doom and gloom today. No?
I think we all, once again, this is Good and Ghastly.
I know.
We found the bright spots in all of the darker moments. I don't think any of the lessons we brought up were something that were without merit or something.
Silver lining.
Yeah. They're all things that have brought us to this point here.
That's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, and we are more doom and gloom than anything else.
We really are.
I mean,
I'm trying. I mean, if that's your personality, it's your personality.
Well, I mean, we do build the podcast as two lifelong pessimists and best friends. So, I mean, yeah.
But we're supposed to be changing with each season.
Finding brighter spots. I mean, there was, a point in my life where I would have said everything is awful.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't want to be here anymore.
I can give you a negative for every positive.
Exactly. At least we're trying.
Yeah, we are.
And I'll say for us, this is very outside of our comfort zone. So,
again, it's mostly... I'm okay with it because I figure nobody's watching.
You say that until someone does.
I know, and then that's scary.
Yeah. That's
okay. I mean, I hope somebody gets something out of it if they do see it.
Hi, Mom. Our number one fan. Love you. Well, so anything good coming up? Anything you're looking forward to? Anything amazing that you want to share that you've been watching or read or ate? I'm always good for snack recommendations.
Nothing. I'm not saying anything's bad. Nothing's been bad. Just kind of,
Have you
straightforward
heard the new single from Electric Callboy?
No, but yes, I have. I like it.
I do too. I don't really like baby metal.
No, I don't either, but
by themselves.
Yeah, it's not really my thing, but it meshes very well.
It is so danceable and fun. It is so fun. I've been listening to it nonstop.
I need to remember to listen because when I do listen to them, just in general, it's fun.
It is. It's absolutely, they're just a trip and they're so fun. And I'm sorry we didn't get to see them in May.
Yeah.
But, next time maybe. Standing at the back. That's the problem. Expensive and loud, and
it takes work to get to the places that
that's true.
Have concerts.
We will have a special edition of our trip to Madison after October.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're going to Madison because I'm dragging Angelica to see my favorite spoken word artist because I'm a dork.
No, I love
in the best way.
Yeah, I appreciate that you're so literary because I want to be, but I don't always have the opportunity.
Right.
So you kind of keep me motivated to try to read and
absolutely
try to look at new things because it's really hard. I don't have any time to myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And the artist is Sean Quizon. He's Canadian. His new book, I already ordered us each a copy, and it should have been here already, but it's coming from Seattle and it's taking a very long time. So once it's here, you'll have his new book.
Awesome.
Because I figured
I was gonna say I need to
brush up.
Yeah.
And then you can bring it and he'll sign it because he's lovely. He's a lovely guy. So this will be my second time seeing him. I'm very, very excited.
I know you've already seen him.
Yeah, so John and I went to see him in Chicago.
I'm sure you told me, but just
I think it was right before the pandemic or right after. I can't remember. Somewhere, it might have been right after, but he does a lot of really personal, like, spoken word stuff, and like he talks about his life, and he was like bullied when he was younger, and he was raised by his grandparents. And at that time, his grandfather died quite some years ago, from what I understand. But his grandmother had just died when he did that show.
Aww.
Like within, I think it was like 3 weeks. It was like very raw. And like a lot of his poetry is to do about his grandmother and grandfather. And he literally had a breakdown on the stage. And like, he's like a, almost 50-year-old man. But like to see someone that just is so vulnerable and so open, like I had tissues in my thing I actually brought up to the stage to him because it was a close. These are not huge venues. Yeah. But like just to see someone be so open and vulnerable and still then get themselves together and, share. It's very magical is like not a great word for it. I don't know how to explain it, but I think like you'll find it very affirming and not life-changing, but definitely something that you'll take with you. Yeah. I find myself like
forward to it.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah. And it'll be a great long weekend for us to talk about what we did in Madison. Exactly. Yeah. So it'll be awesome. I'm going to Las Vegas in August.
Is that official?
It's official. I bought my ticket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what Bill's giving me for my birthday.
Oh, yeah. I bought my ticket.
Well, like
that's what I get for my birthday.
Yeah. Well, we had like airline miles, so like the tickets I had to pay like the taxes on it or whatever. It's like $11.20. So not bad. But like, yeah, we're going with a different group this time. So
okay. Yeah. I'll have to get more details.
Yeah. I think it'll be exciting. We already bought tickets to a couple things, to one thing, and like I'll have to show you my list of things.
Yeah.
Not to make this a Vegas podcast, but maybe we'll have to talk to it after because you've been to Vegas as well.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Where I really want to go to this thing called Dig This. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's like out in the desert, and it's just heavy machinery, and you get to freaking like dig things and excavate things and crush things and bulldoze things. And it looks amazing. Like I am, like everyone's like, I want a gamble, I want a drink. I'm like, I want to crush things.
I definitely have not heard of that.
I will have to share this with you. I think you'll enjoy it. They do have a thing for kids too. So
yeah.
Not that you're gonna have a family vacation in Vegas.
Yeah.
But if you ever find yourself out there, it might be something fun to be able to do.
We are officially going to South Carolina.
Oh, are you?
In October too. So
awesome.
I'll have a busy October, but with the kids, first time flying.
That's exciting for them.
Yeah, little shits. Man, I didn't get to fly in an airplane till I was like 20 something.
Yeah.
No, it'll be fun. Though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to have them do that.
Absolutely. Especially somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Weather will be great.
Yeah, it better be.
Unless it's hurricane season.
I don't know.
Late October is
I mean, then I don't have to go outside.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's air conditioning. So
yeah. You probably won't need it.
Don't like the sun.
Well established. Sun bad. Same. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing until then though, I don't think. So
yeah, so we'll keep you in the loop.
Yeah. We promised on the last one. What did we promise? Like something
lies.
Fun.
We said we'd have a set design. We said we're going to start promoting the podcast. ASMR.
I don't think that's much ASMR. It's me cackling.
Probably, and the dog.
And the dog barking. We are professionals.
Yeah, we can't afford a podcast space that's like, what is it, soundproof?
Yeah.
Future state.
Yeah.
What did we promise?
We kind of go back and look. It was like, I thought it was like a fun one-off type of thing. We'll have to go back and look.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed.
I think I would like to bring you back to our tagline. We don't make promises.
We sure don't. Or if we do,
we don't lies. Yeah, it's lies. Podcast full of lies. Yeah. Well, we'll figure out what we owe you.
Yeah.
Another one in the books. Well, thank you for listening to the Good Ghastly Podcast, and see you next time. We really need an out. Someone come up with something for a six. All I think every time is keep it sleazy. I can't think of any other like
Yeah.
And that's just not going to work. We're not that kind of podcast.
I don't know. I mean, we end with us looking defeated and tired. I mean, that's kind of our thing.
Wah, wah.
I guess we gotta go on with the rest of the week.
Yeah, well, now I got to edit this. So thank you guys for listening, and
have a good week.
keep it sleazy.
It's only Monday.
It's only, well, maybe for you it's a different day. Where is the mouse?
I don't know.
So
keep it sleazy.
we got. Bye. See you next time.